It's his lipless mouth. Hey there, Toonami faithful, and welcome back aboard Toonami Absolution, where we talk about the shows that made us us and the shows that made you you. Once again, we are your hosts. My name is Alex.
I'm Sam.
And I'm John, Batman, Mystery of the Batwoman. Made its debut direct-to-video October 21st, 2003. Toonami got it only once, May 1st, 2004.
Oh,
Yeah.
I need to crash out about the first scene of the movie.
Just get it out of your system. Just do it.
Ironic, it's a truck crash.
I'm so mad every time we do this shit with Barbara Gordon and we carried it forward into the shitty ass version of the Killing Joke. Why do we have to have Barbara Gordon hitting on Bruce Wayne? Why do we have to make this a thing? At most, she is 18 years old in this scene and Bruce is either 40 or pushing 40. Like, I'm so over this character assassination of Barbara Gordon. Like, I hate it so much, and I know that the same people were involved with the Killing Joke, and it just makes me mad. It almost made me genuinely put down the movie. Like, it genuinely did.
Yeah, it's the worst scene in the movie. For those of you who aren't in the know about what we just kind of ripped into there's a scene early in the film where Barbara Gordon's off to college, yay, because she's of that age, and she calls Bruce, and they have a very flirtatious phone call, which is played for laughs because he's not alone when that happens, and it, I suppose, sets up their alluded to romantic interaction that we don't see in Batman Beyond, and it sucks.
Look, I have nothing against people writing fan fiction, right? I genuinely don't, but I need to talk about the Barbara Gordon of it all for a second because as a ostensibly female person, there is such a because the thing that's going to be argued here, right, is that, like, oh, she was flirting with him and he didn't really flirt back. It's like, no, Bruce has the responsibility as the adult in the situation to say, hey, this is inappropriate. You are 18. I am more than old enough to be your father. I want to throw it out there. Even if the shoe was on the other foot and we had Batwoman and an 18-year-old Tim Drake or something, I would still be mad about it. I'm still not cool with it. I don't care what the gender spread is here. But I hate it because it takes the cool things about Barbara and kind of just reduces them down to being another sexual plaything for Bruce, and we know that his dick doesn't work. Okay, I'm saying it out loud.
And
Unless it's Talia al Ghul, in which case we get Damien.
That's the magic. That's what the Lazarus pit is for.
Dip it in. Yeah. It undermines so much of Bruce's character for him to have this. I think it gets worse when you have Robin play it for laughs. Like, he should be, if you're going to do this, then you've got to have Robin, and you shouldn't do this, but if the only way this would make sense if you were going to play it off with, Tim Drake or one of the other Robins being like, hey, you can't do this. Like, Alfred should be one of those stories, like the start of Batman Beyond, where it's a moral event horizon for Bruce, where he either has to learn that you can't do this because it is wrong, or this ends you as Batman. This is the sign that you're too far in the soup. You're gone. Yeah, it makes no sense, and this scene only exists to cut off an interest. Here's what I'm saying. Mystery of the Batwoman. Let's introduce Batwoman. Well, not Batwoman. A very ugly Batwoman who just doesn't look right because she's off-white. Yeah. But they have who could it be? And the first thing they do in the early scenes is cut off all of the interesting options. Alfred goes, oh, could it be one of your old foes under a new disguise? Bruce goes, no, it's not Selina. Which, okay, cool, that would have been interesting. Then we have Barbara call up to confirm it's certainly not Barbara. Cool. So then you go, okay, well, what women do we have left? And then suddenly the rest of the film is like, hey, look at all these women that are in Gotham you just haven't noticed before. They've totally been here the whole time, guys.
And, spoiler alerts for a 20-plus-year-old movie, they're all the Batwomen.
All of them but one.
Yeah.
And the singer in the iceberg.
That's right. There's a French woman in there.
She's only there to promote her fucking single. So
Yeah,
He is only there to promote the single.
there's an odd musical sequence compared to all the other DC animated projects that we've covered, and I was the one who picked this motherfucker, so you can throw your flowers or bombs at me. Um, Spanish bombs, hopefully, if we're going in the Clash route, but
Olay.
yeah, because I wanted to close out the DC animated universe. Batman movies. This is the last one. We haven't, we've done all the other ones. So I was like, okay, I haven't seen this in its entirety, maybe ever. Um, I was always aware of it. And yeah, it's yeah, there's a weird musical sequence where they go to a nightclub and we get Sherry?
I
Chérie.
Sherry. Désolé.
yeah, Sherry, that was the name she was forming under this time. It's not her real name. She'd go to her
Like,
real name later on.
here's
Sherry
the thing,
O'Connor.
I don't mind these movie only characters. I don't mind the idea of it. They're actually like kernels of really good things happening here, and some really interesting stuff with how the mystery of this woman is being set up. Like the mystery itself and how it's set up is really interesting. It also requires everybody to remember that Bruce Timm has one female body type in him, and that's it. There's only one female body type, and she's either tall or short. Those are the only options you get. And whatever. That's fine. It's cool. I there comes a point with this is where I'm going to get on my soapbox and people are going to be mad about me for a second. Comes a point with male people writing women
Yeah.
where it just becomes ridiculous. It's just stupid at a certain point because there are really good motivations here. I think like the cop woman whose name is escaping me because she barely counts to the plot. But every driving motivator for like the Kelly Ripa's character, which we have to get into that. For Kelly Ripa's character, it all goes back to her fiance with Kathy Duquesne, who I like the idea when she gives that speech to her father, where it's like, you're the kind of man whose wife stands next to him and gets shot. Like, yeah, that's actually a really cool motivation, and we should be talking about that more. But we don't get anything else that's interesting. They are not characters, they're archetypes. And Batman and the Penguin and even Falcone get to be characters. They get to be archetypes of the violence of a male-driven society on women, and that sucks.
It's Rupert Thorne.
Rupert Thorne, whatever.
You wouldn't know it because he doesn't act like Rupert Thorne. Sort of before we get to other stuff, one, we can't blame Bruce Timm for this. He was on the writing team. The story is by Burnett.
Fair
So
enough.
we can blame someone else for once, and so we don't get insulted. But yeah, no, the three. I like the idea. It's Murder on the Orient Express. I'm a mark for that. But I think people forget the reason the twist in Murder on the Orient Express is all of the people involved are disparate. They have no reason to work together beyond hatred of this one singular person. Poirot even points it out that these people should hate each other. It doesn't work here when you only have three female characters, and they're not three female characters, they're one female character and three bodies, because all of their actions are totally nonsensical. I'm just going to go on some of the production very quickly, because there's a line in this production that kind of redefined the film for me. So Alan Burnett says he was asked to write 2 DVD scripts so home media could choose one. I wrote one with Paul Dini, which was a Batman team-up video in which you saw him on adventures with various other heroes. The other one was this one I wrote with Michael Reeves. Home Video chose this one mainly because it was a single story as opposed to several stories linked together. That first script would become a Brave and the Bold episode, though. So, and then he goes on, I wanted to do Batman Light. I wanted to have some laughs. I think women are a threat to Bruce. I think he's put them off for so long he doesn't really know what to do with them. I think he'd rather face the League of Assassins than have a date with a smart female. So I thought we could get some humour from that. Generally, that's all I wanted to do. Have some fun. I didn't want to change the world. I didn't want to break his back. I didn't want to see the pearls on the concrete again. I'd been down the angst road so many times with this character, and that it was time to take a breather from melodrama. And then he goes on to note, in the DVD commentary, we weren't quite sure where it was going to end. Once he had the whole idea of the Charlie's Angels thing with 3 different characters under one mask, that brought everything together. But Burnett literally says he was giving Reeves story pages while Reeves was still writing the script. And I think the second that I read that, like, that explains so much of this plot is contrivances. It's very, very clear that the original, that all 3 of them being Batgirl wasn't the original plan. because it doesn't gel with any of the early scenes. It just suddenly becomes a thing.
No, and I think Kelly Ripa is the biggest example of that, where she suddenly becomes the, from klutz to martial arts master, who's also a tech expert.
Of
This came out during that time where Kelly Ripa was trying to get back into acting. Like she around this time starred in the Cat in the Hat film with Michael Myers.
Oh my
So
god, she did. I always
Did
forget that she acted because I only think of her as Kelly Ripa. Like that's all I think of her as.
she
be
got her
fair, you
start in
did
soaps, so
Mm.
did probably repress the cat and hat movie in Michael Myers. It is a common trauma response.
I remember, yeah.
It's
That
either
is
repression
horrible.
or the screaming nightmares.
Yeah.
It it's just sad to me because there are so many Batman stories that involve female characters, especially in the animated series, where it's not like this. Like you have characters like Baby Doll, you have characters like Pamela Isley, Catwoman. Like there are so many good and well-written female characters throughout Batman the animated series that seeing this get fumbled so hard when this could have actually been really interesting is just like, come on, guys, what are we doing here?
That's my point. Like Bruce is scared of smart women. No, he's not. He's clashed wits with Selena, and his problem with Selena has never been her intelligence. It's been the fact she's been using her intelligence to steal from you, to steal things she finds pretty. Like his whole thing has always been, "You're really good. Why are you wasting time on this?"
Talia al Ghul is the mother of his child.
And
Yeah.
Talia al fucking Ghul.
you go back onto the Roxy thing. Oh, the with she's the scientist one. Oh, it bugged me so much when the whole thing was like, oh, I showed off this new metal I can transform at Wayne Tech, and then I use it in my next crime. And no one, like, I thought, okay, that's just really fucking stupid. That's not how you do a whodunit. But I thought, like, the next scene would be, okay, the other two are going to turn on her, but you got too cocky. Like, we're going to have, like, the whole heist fallout thing. You got too cocky. You wanted to be clever. No, they just accept that she did this. Like, which means you can clearly tell that whole thing was just there because they realized, oh shit, we don't have a way for Bruce to work this out. So we need to give him evidence like he's in a fucking adventure game.
I I'm just gonna go like talk about this again. And I don't give a shit about stuff like the Bechdel test. I don't really care about this stuff 99% of the time. What I care about is bad writing, and bad writing means that you're treating a subsection of the population as a prop and not a character. And that is, to me, just a sign that you're a bad writer. I think that a lot of, and I'm not saying this to be mean to my male audience, I am sorry to all of you when I say this. I think that a lot of male writers tend to hide behind the idea of, oh, I can't write women, to make an excuse for not being able to write a convincing character because they've never spoken to a woman. I think that that's really where I'm at with that kind of thing because I'm tired of that old excuse, and I've heard it from comic book writers, I've heard it from novelists. You hear it all the time. It's like, oh, I can't write women because I can't get in their brain. It's like, no, they're just a person. Accept the fact that people are people, and it doesn't matter what their genitals are. I'm sorry. I'm so actually kind of angry about this movie as like because this could have been so cool, and it could, like, there's so many kernels of something that could have been cool. And like I said, Kathy Duquesne has that one line that really makes me think that there could have been something here, and it wasn't there. And wasted potential pisses me off so much.
Yeah, you have three. Each of the three villainesses has a really good story here. Well, okay, no, Roxy doesn't. That's a lie. Two of them have a really good because Kathy is a whole thing of her dad's a gangster, and she technically has the motivation to. Here's the big thing: they have a line near the end where they go, "Why did we not make our own persona? Why did we make a Batman?" And you go, and that line was great because you sit there and go, "Yeah, actually, why did you do this? Like, why did you decide this was a good idea?" Because you go, "Okay, Kathy has a reason to make a Batman to scare her father. Sonia, the cop, has a reason to make a Batman because he saved her when she was a child. Roxy has no reason to be Batman. Why does Roxy care? Yeah, why does Kathy care about Batman? Why does any one of these people care about being like the only way? Like I don't know. It's there's so many weird little details in this film that when you sit back and go, wait, that makes no sense. Also, to go away from women to weirdness, can we bring up that this will be the last time we see Rupert Thorne?
Yeah, it is.
Here's the thing about this, and let me reiterate, this is the first time I've seen this in its entirety. This is the last time that we see, new Batman Adventures era anything, frankly. The weird blue-eyed Bruce, who they can't keep blue-eyed in some shots of the movie, by the
Nope.
way. They forget
Some
that.
some shots look like he's in June.
And
Yeah.
two of the worst villain designs out of the new adventures, because like I hate this Bane design and this Penguin design sucks.
Oh, Gimpy
Like,
Yeah.
Bane.
yeah.
I miss Paul Williams as Penguin. It's
Yeah.
David Ogden Stiers who does his best, but it's not Paul Williams, and it's a different Bane too. It's Hector Elizondo, but so this is kind of a weird, like just a weird way to end Batman the animated series, like that continuity as we know it. You know, I'm trying to think if Unlimited finished before this, but
I
And
think
that's
it
it's
did.
it's right around this time.
We're in the end game, if not.
Yeah. So it's like this weird, like, hey, another Batman movie. Oh, cool. Oh.
It,
Like, oh, this is what we got. Okay.
yeah, because this would be the first time we'd see Thorne in new Batman adventures, hence why they've changed that and give him a weird obsession with playing cards, which doesn't quite make sense.
Yeah.
He developed that. The new Penguin is weird because the new Penguin is more brave and the bold than
yeah.
new Batman, but he's next to Thorne and I've forgotten his name again. The Carlton Duquesne.
Carlton Duquesne.
Carlton
Carlton
Duquesne. Yeah.
Duquesne, who are
Yeah.
both dudes in suits. I mean, Carlton's more 90s because he's got the turtleneck, but then seeing like weird Penguin who looks like the mascot of the Inquirer, just looks very odd. Then Bane looks like someone in a Halloween costume.
I hate this Bane design. There are a lot of bad Bane designs. I feel like Bane suffers from this a lot as a character. He gets a ton of crappy designs, and yes, the Nolan version sucked too. I don't understand why we like honestly, the Batman and Robin Bane looks great. Like I don't understand why we can't keep design why Bane always suffers this way.
He's got green skin in that movie.
But it's at least interesting to look at. Like
I think
this
my favorite Bane design outside of obviously like a Kelly Jones comic is
Oh, Kelly Jones, yeah.
yeah, is Arkham Bane.
Arkham Bane is good, but Harley Quinn Bane is great. Like I love Harley Quinn
Mm.
Bane. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's always
I was
so
kind of forgetting.
weird. He's based on like Lucha Libre, which is like one of the most visually interesting sort of combat sports, and all of Americans can't get the design right. It's like, come on, just go look at a picture of La Parker and be like, okay.
Yeah, it's
it's
more than
his
just a mask. Otherwise, you look like you're an S&M person.
it's his lipless mouth
Yeah.
that really pisses me off the most. It's just the teeth and like no lips. Like his mouth is always open. There's a lot about there's a lot about this movie that just kind of is it falls flat. I did like the Iceberg Lounge though. It's nice to go back to the Iceberg Lounge.
Yes. I mean, that's where our infamous. What do we think about our musical sequence? Can we just like address that too?
Fuck,
Like in full.
There's so many frames per minute.
Oh God, it's like the frame rate changes completely, right?
There's like so many frames per second in that shot.
It's an absolute waste of time. Like, I felt offended by it a little bit because, again, this would have been a woman to have in our like. If we're going to focus on this woman, and it's a mystery show. If you're focusing on this character a lot, I at least expect to see Bruce go up to her and be like, "Hey, did you see something?" Or maybe it could be her hiding in plain sight. Because, being the Iceberg Lounge singer would be a good place to get information on criminal activity. And it would be the first time one of my people has fallen into a pool of water and got really committed to their job.
It's also just like it could have been a lot more interesting because there's so much to do in the Iceberg Lounge, like as a setting, as a set piece in Batman. Also, like this is just a bad Batman. This is not the best Bruce. This is not the best version of Batman. Everybody's like a C tier version of themselves in this movie.
Except Alfred, who gets the single best line in the entire film,
Alfred's
which
great.
is when he's in a car with Bruce on a stakeout. He goes, "I see Dennis the Menace is one step closer to juvenile hall." Just totally unprompted.
Yeah, this is the last time I think we ever hear Ephraim Zimbalist Jr. As Alfred. This is the last time we hear Bob Hastings as Commissioner Gordon. Like this is kind of it's the weird end of an era. It's the last time we get John Vernon as Rupert Thorne. it's a odd capper on all of
Thi
it.
this is Skinny Gordon too, because I don't know if this is true or if this is apocryphal, but I remember something about, like, how in between Batman the Animated Series and New Adventures, like, Gordon had a cancer diagnosis or something in the background, and that's why he got so skinny in between both of them. Like, I don't know if that's apocryphal, but I have that in my brain that somebody in some interview said that.
Um,
I'll
I
have
don't
to
know.
check for
We're
it.
gonna have to do a little bit of Googling, I guess, but I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
I remember that being like a because there was some I don't remember when I saw this. It was something about the character design shifts, and it was a mention that Gordon had been sick or had cancer at some point, and that's why he goes from being, like, huge to being as skinny as he looks in this movie.
I just assumed it was always another, like, new Batman Adventures, like, redesign kinda thing where it's like, let's make him it also kind of reflects his age a bit more compared to Bruce, who, like, in New Batman Adventures, like, Batman the Animated Series Bruce, broad-shouldered, well-proportioned, yellow shirts usually.
Yellow
And then
shirt.
in, New Batman Adventures, it's like, let's make his chest, like, bigger than let's make it the bottom of a triangle.
Let's
Cool.
make him a
Like,
triangle.
he becomes,
Not
like, this just, like
not to make John have to bleep me on this, but this is a whore-shaped Bruce Wayne.
yeah.
This is a slutty-shaped Bruce
He's
Wayne.
he's like a pear shape if the bottom of the pear was the top.
He's blue there's just some I don't know what it is with the blue eyes, but I remember always thinking this was kind of a slutty design for
I
Bruce
never
Wayne.
liked the blue eyes. Never liked the blue eyes.
He looks too much like, Superman.
Yeah.
One of my notes I was writing is this Bruce Wayne must struggle to buy shirts.
I get it, man, that's the real feminist struggle right there. I too
Yeah.
struggle to buy shirts.
Uh yeah, this also I would bring up that they do mention the fact that there was talk originally of using the actual Batwoman, but DC wouldn't allow Kathy Kane to be used due to the villainous angle they were taking. Alan Burnett goes, "This is actually better because they'll be saying, aha, that's the one from the beginning if we use her."
Oh,
Is
Kathy Kane, sure, yeah.
is that why the one girl is named Kathy Duquesne?
Yeah.
I would put fucking money on it.
I'm
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
so
Kathy
mad.
Kane is the original Batwoman with a weird yellow costume from, like, the Silver Age.
I'm so mad right now. It took me this long
Yeah.
to realize it.
It's kind of amazing the power of interviews because if you've been following us on Batman, I've been saying that Alan Burnett always sounds like a little bit too focused in the ones for Batman the animated series. In this, he sounds like a fucking idiot in all the DVD commentary. He just keeps saying stuff, and it's like, okay, you're clearly justifying that you didn't know what the hell you were doing here, and you're trying to. But my favorite line is Kurt Gader from a Comic Con panel when it's coming out goes, "I guess there's an older version of Batman, but a Batwoman, but there wasn't much to use there. We just tried to make it as different as we could while sticking close to the darker color scheme and keeping it simple." Which, Kurt, that's just a lie. You've done none of that on this new Batwoman shirt. It's not dark, it's white.
Also, like, Batwoman's costume was, like, yellow.
Yeah.
Like, if you look at Silver Age Batwoman, Kathy Kane's wearing a yellow outfit with, like, basically the weird face mask that Catwoman had at that time.
She looks like Daredevil.
Yeah, yeah, she looks
It's
like OG Daredevil.
because it's really weird how she looks like a Batman Beyond character drawn by someone who's only been told the concept of Batman Beyond.
She looks like ink. She looks
He
like
does look like ink.
she looks
She's
like
like
a gray
chrome
version
ink.
of ink.
Like I'm not overtly upset with the color scheme. It's so not good. It's like it's mediocre, and I think that that's the problem. If it were genuinely terrible, at least that would be interesting. If it were the yellow suit from the Silver Age, that would be interesting. If it were genuinely good, that would be interesting, but it feels like it was made to sell the action figure. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know, I also think it's weird they didn't do anything with it being three of them. I thought it would have been cool maybe if near the end when they revealed and they all started doing stuff in formation. They'd each had something different, like an add-on. Because you always got those Batman toys, like, oh, undersea Batman with his special helmet. If they'd each have had some different thing to use. Because they have like the Goblin gliders, which
Yeah.
look stupid because they don't stand on them. They kind of hold them like pool floaties, which just
Yeah.
looks idiotic. But I was like, oh, maybe they're each going to get like a different glider attachment or something. Because there could have been a really fun scene with Bane where they're all just mobbing him from different angles, just dive bombing him.
I just don't know why Bane is really here, other than to punch Batman on top of a burning boat. Like I
Yeah,
don't get Bane being here?
I think, partially, if I remember correctly, Warner Brothers was very selective about what Batman characters could show up in certain media. Because they had stuff planned for like Justice League Unlimited with like the Joker coming back and everything, and they were like, you can't use the Joker. We're using him in something else. Which I always think is like the stupidest thing. And I say this as somebody that works for like corporate conglomerates where it's like where you don't share the toys because we already have plans with this character here, and it's like, yes, but they're different projects, you moron. Like you can get them out and people will be able to distinguish them. I assume one, these are characters that they could. I don't see anybody at Warner Brothers being like, you can't use Rupert Thorne, you
Yeah.
can't do that. Like you can't use the Penguin right now. But I could see one of the more marquee Batman villains like the Joker or somebody being like unavailable. So they're like, who's the biggest muscle that we can get? I mean, Bane. Okay,
Like,
get
I
Bane.
like, why not Killer Croc or Clayface, or like, I just like, I feel like that would fit more because Bane is clearly out of the country when he's coming back, you know? Like, my brain is like, why not Killer Croc? Like, why? Like, I feel like that could have even fit better with, Penguin's whole like water theme, you know?
I
Yeah.
think it's also they have it weird by having Bane come in halfway through the movie, and Penguin builds him up as like the ultimate contingency plan. If you're building someone up as a surprise, because the whole and it's weird because it clearly was a last minute change because you how Penguin phrase we need someone who can go further, do like fight Batman more than ever. That's Joe. That's how you build up Joker. Like that's because it's played like a deal with the devil. Like that should be Joker. Even the scene when we get Bane in, he's like, "Well, I have to have full control." That's a Joker thing. That's like Joker. Like, this is my plan now. If they'd have done this, they should have just had Bane, but there at the beginning with Penguin.
Quote that you read even worse. Like, when he was like, you have him saying like, "Oh, I wanted it to be something fun. We're not breaking Batman's back. We're not doing this." Then that's even more reason not to use Bane because Bane is the guy who broke the bat. Like, what? We're not even.
Yeah.
He Bane broke.
Rage so hard you freeze.
Bane broke the bat. Why is like when your whole thesis statement is, "Oh, I don't want this to be too serious," and you're throwing Bane in the mix? What the fuck?
Yeah, yeah. Nobody likes El Forte.
Also, to be fair, this Bane hit one of my biggest annoyances with this character when his delivery is totally flat and all they do is have him put "senor" into sentences at random. Like
Oh, vamonos.
code switching is a thing, but at the same time, he has no vocal performance beyond random Spanish word. There is nothing here that made Bane feel different to any other dude. Like if you're doing the wrestler thing, he should be basically fucking Macho Man. Or if he's fighting, he should be like a growl and sound really threatening and hardly speak. You can't just have him talk like Thorne and have him say "Olay" every 3 sentences.
Yeah, that's loco, man.
I would like to make a controversial statement, if you don't mind. I have a controversial statement. I
Mhm.
like Boom Boom Sabotage more than I liked this.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far, and I was the one
I
who
would.
I've recommended both.
I would go that far. I think I enjoyed Boom Boom Sabotage. Boom Boom Sabotage did not actively make me upset.
Yeah. Boom Boom Sabotage made me wanna play, like, Flash games from, like, 1996.
This made me want to flip a table.
Yeah.
I think this kind of gets into what I think my final thought of this film is. Is it's not bad. Like I think it's a lot of this film is expectations. Like I'll note that the critics and audience is 60% critics, 60% audience on Rotten Tomatoes. And I put that all up entirely to expectations. If you come into this thinking, direct a video action film, it's fine. Certainly not the worst of this genre of films. There are some right stinkers. But if you come, I think we've been unfair because we've come into it while watching animated series. So if you come into it like Mask of the Phantasm, Return of the Joker, Heart of Ice, even like Feats of Clay, this is just frustrating. It's like, we know Alan Burnett can do better. We've seen him do better. This just feels like the laziest. Like, again, I think it's Alan Burnett being, I want this to be silly and fun. It's like, dude, we know that feels more like this isn't good and you're trying to come up with an excuse. Oh, I wasn't trying. You should have been trying. You're a better writer than this. I'm not angry with you. I'm disappointed, Alan. You're good at this kind of thing. Why is this horrible mess? You know what I wish this film had been? Columbo. This
Oh.
film would have worked really well as Columbus. That we know who the Batgirls are from the start, Batwomen are from the start, and we deal with them as Bruce gets ever closer, and it's how they're trying to dodge him. Because that I think would have made this reveal, this sort of setup, work more. Give us more time with these three women who don't really talk to each other all that much.
No, they don't really do anything.
And it would have made them have to write for Bruce and don't have to write Bruce trying to get his end away with a random woman he's just met.
Sam, that means that you get to do the final thought next.
I mean, my final thought is that this is a really weird way to close out the DC animated universe. It's really just kind of like, what are we? I think there might be like even beyond Justice League Unlimited, there might be like I'm trying to remember if Superman Brainiac Attacks comes out after this. That's an animated movie that we could subject ourselves to. But yeah, this is it's just a weird capper to everything. It's like just the ultimate anticlimax for me.
Um, since we did this out of order, it's crazy. It's chaos now.
I can give you one more, just a final note.
Give me a final note.
Toonami, they had some sense in their promo. They did not spoil the Batwoman reveal. They did spoil the Bane reveal by portraying him as the main villain. They literally say Batman fights Bane. And I'm like, well done, you had 2 twists and you only spoiled 50% of them, so you're getting better.
Got to get
Good
those
job,
kiddies
Toonami.
excited for the Batwoman.
Good job, Toonami. Yeah, I am actively upset with this movie in a lot of ways, and I think that John, you kind of hit on it. I am upset because I know it could have been better. I'm upset. Like, the reason why I can't be upset as much about Boom Boom Sabotage is that there was no way that was going to be better. That was the best version of that movie that was ever going to be made. This movie feels like no one gave as much of a shit as they should have, and that bothers me on like a soul deep level for something like Batman and Batman the Animated Series that has so much love in the stitches. Even the worst episodes of Batman the Animated Series that we have talked about so far, I will take over this movie because you know what? Maybe it was an off day. Maybe Bruce Timm was fighting the animation staff to the end and bloody death, which I know that he was doing at one point. Like, maybe they just didn't have the budget. But this is a full budget movie. You have no excuse, especially when we know you can do better. I am going to officially say it, and controversial as it is, this is ranked below Boom Boom Sabotage for me at this point. Genuinely, that is how I feel. I do not want to watch this movie again because that wasted potential is such a sin to me. But you know, if you have less of a visceral reaction to the waste of potential than I do, then yeah, it is still a beautifully animated movie. The soundtrack is still good. There is still stuff there. I want the fan fiction rewrite of this so badly. But that does mean that we have pulled into our final destination. That is right. It is time for us to disembark from Toonami Absolution. We want to thank you once again in joining us and talking about the shows that made us us and the shows that made you you. We have been your hosts. My name is Alyx.
I'm Sam.
And I'm John.
And we'll see you next time. Bang.